Hello and welcome to SuperSport Unplugged. I feel very honored. My very first Unplugged episode that I get to host, and it's all about women in sport and broadcasting. And I'm joined by some of the biggest names in the SuperSport broadcast world as we're going to talk our journeys, our struggles, our achievements and our growth. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank
you. So just to ease everybody in, we're going to go around, introduce yourself, maybe give me a 2-second intro into who you are and maybe what sports you kind of focus on. Shall we start with you, Nqobile?
Of course, my name is Nqobile Kwezi, also known as Sporty Spice. I love motorsports, I love cricket, T20 format, I love tennis, I love golf, and I also love soccer and rugby because I'm South African.
I love how you specify T20 format because ain't nobody got time for white ball cricket.
Okay. So I'm Vanessa de Toit, and if you are Sporty Spice, I'm definitely Baby Spice. I do love cricket. I actually like Test cricket, believe it or not, but my first love will and always remain netball, as I'm a former Protea netball player. Love rugby, of course. In South Africa, I mean, it has to be. And then I really enjoy all the general sports, from UFC to Formula One to golf to any sport pretty much, because I think there's a golden thread in sport, and I know we're going to get on it, but yeah, that's pretty much me.
Okay, let's move on to you, beautiful Lene.
Why are we skipping you, Kriya?
Oh, we'll get back to me, don't we?
Okay.
We save the best for last.
Okay, good. I see. I'm Zenande Funani. I like to think of myself as an all-rounder, every single sports, bits and pieces, and I think I absolutely love soccer, cricket, netball, actually everything, like I mentioned. I'm also a big soccer fanatic, big Arsenal.
Don't say it.
And
Excuse. You knew she was going to say it.
Listen, I can't introduce myself and not say that.
That's fair.
And also, I played sports in high school. I always thought I wanted to be a Proteas netball player. Unfortunately, I wasn't as tall as Vanessa when I came to Joburg.
Girl, if I met you earlier, we would have made a great team. I just know that.
We are a great team.
We are
right
a great
now.
team now.
Yeah.
Everything in time.
Miss Hope.
Hi. Sorry, I was enjoying that. I'm like, oh, it's me. I'm Hope from Mbhele, Zulu girl with some power, if you like. I think I'm also an all-rounder. I think South Africa in general, we are sports people, from athletics to rugby, but obviously football is my first love. Yeah. That's me. I'm not going to say which teams I support.
You should.
Handing it over to you, Ash.
I'll say it for you. So I'm Ashley Pregueiro. I had to learn how to say that surname when I got married.
3 times, yeah.
I had to take lessons. I am a content creator and presenter. I love football. I know everyone's an all-rounder, but I feel like I'm football obsessed. It's a problem. You Man United, I'm Man City.
You support the right team.
City girl. But I actually have been getting into other sports. I mean, naturally you do. You find yourselves doing that. I did watch the box the other day, like a real South African.
Oh, wow.
But it was the one they lost. So maybe it was me. I don't know what it was.
I was going to say, please don't watch it.
I'm done with that, guys. But yeah, pretty much football, done some tennis things, really into tennis as well. But yeah, I'm a football girly, at my heart, in my heart of hearts. It's that's where I am.
And you, Kriya?
Okay.
Go, come tell us.
Best for
Tell
last.
us. So, I was going to say Scary Spice. I have the hair to match.
We're all the Spice Girls right now.
So my name is Kriya Gangiah. I am probably the oldest one here. I've been in the industry since I was 17 years old. I started in radio and moved into television. And I I got the generation that didn't really do the content creating. We came up when it was still MySpace. There wasn't even Instagram or Facebook. Girl, I had a song that played every time you opened my MySpace profile.
Did you sing the song?
No.
Okay.
So broadcasting overall, and then got into sport, actually within golf and Formula One. Motorsport is my core sport, and I just grew from there. And at the end of the day, it's something that I absolutely love. It's something that you can sit around the braai and have a chat with the guys about, have a chat with the girls about, or just create those personal connections. And that's what I got into the media industry for. Everyone did it for the likes and the follows, and that's where you, and I'm going to say it like that because that's where you started, but it's a human nature thing to do. I did it because I love to entertain people and have that laugh. Started with radio, so you don't see that other person on the other end of the camera or the phone. So that's how I got into it, and I loved it ever since.
I can resonate with that though.
Yeah.
Because as an athlete, I had Instagram and Facebook to just say the scores of what our team had done. That is how I got into content creation. So it was all just netball. From my first posts ever was the scores between South Africa, our netball team, against Jamaica or against England. And that's how my family kind of knew what the scores were. Cool. And then it kind of just grew from there. Yeah. So
it's an interesting way that, and I'm going to branch off into our discussions here. It's an interesting way that social media and the digital space has transformed sport and broadcasting as a whole. But I think starting off in the sport aspect, like I had a MySpace page that had a song on it. You used it for sharing the scores. How has it kind of transformed? Let's start with you, Zenande. How has it kind of transformed the way that you looked at sport?
So, content creation, right? I think it's a way that helps me connect with a lot of different people all over the world. I think it's so easy, it's so much fun. You don't always have to be so serious, and you learn a lot, like from just other people creating the same content as you. So I think that's basically how I started and got into it. And it's just a great way to share your views with fans. I started off at the stadiums, just basically asking fans questions. And I think basically that's how it gradually started.
Actually, I want to bring you in here because your channel is like extreme sport analysis type vibes.
Fanalist that's the new term.
Is it? Is it an actual
No,
term
it's
now?
like I've seen it on some shows. They're like fanalist, and I was like, that's the one I'm going to take. I'll use that label right there.
How did your journey start? Because you do it with your husband. You guys really go in depth into soccer or football as a whole.
Let it slide. We know where we live.
How did it start for you?
It's actually so strange that I've like ended up here, because we had tried content creation before with just a bunch of different things, but we had never really found a niche. And it was, he loved content creating, I love content creating. He studied acting and music, I studied acting. So that's where we aligned with that kind of stuff. And then when it came to our page, I was like, okay, I know that he loves football. At the time, I wanted to get into the sport. Naturally, I was involved in it because he loved it so much. And I mean, we've been together in September 10 years. So like, it's a long time to be around. It's a long time to be around a sport and obviously find yourself part of it, which is why we don't support the same team, because we make different decisions and we choose different lanes for our lives. But the whole point was we wanted to do content. We've tried it together. We didn't know what it was, and I was like, okay, we have these conversations about football anyway, so why don't we just let's try that. And then it just so happened we were playing around, and I was like, the actual Manchester derby kind of thing. And then we ran with it with the name. And then I think the reason that it worked, besides the fact that we found a niche, which everyone talks about, is the fact that the reason we do it, the intention behind it, is very important to us. And the fact that we do it because we love it. We want to have these conversations, regardless of whether or not we recorded it or not. These are the reactions, these are the conversations we're having, and it just so happened that other people react the same or react differently. And that's been a very interesting journey, because it's also been, it seems quite quick that it's actually happened, because it's now it's been 3 years that we've done this already. And I'm like, how did we get to this place? But I think the minute we change the intention behind what we do and doing something that we love, because that's one thing in our household, we're doing what we love. Yes, I understand everything else that you need in your life. You need to sustain yourself, all that kind of stuff. But we like to, or I view us as a slingshot. So where we were being left behind, So that was how we view things. Like everyone around us was, doing all these different things that you would expect from an age thing, and people asking when you're having kids, all that kind of stuff. It's a natural conversation. For us, we were like, we want to do what we love. That's it. So every day we wake up, we're like, hey, we're doing what we love. And it's something we practice gratitude a lot. And I practice gratitude a lot because I never thought I'd be here. So
I'm going to cycle back to a couple of points there, but I want to now, obviously, from starting content and starting these digital platforms, the move into broadcasting is quite a bit of a jump, and I'm gonna get you in here, Vanessa, because you live not only on the digital platform but the broadcasting first. And I would say you were started in the lifestyle broadcasting and then went into content and then went into sport content or sport broadcasting. Talk to me about that, because that's different.
I do think all of it kind of is part of my journey. So when I started as a netballer, sharing score lines and people going, oh, we can follow her, she'll tell us what the scores are. I remember when it was still Twitter, that was kind of when it started. I just shared that, and then the platforms allowed me to, like Zenande said, have that engagement with fans and with people and with brands. But I also knew and understood that integrating media with sport in a sport where female sport wasn't recognized at that point. We didn't get salaries. We barely had, if it wasn't for SPA at that point, we wouldn't have been able to represent our country. So we've had enough sponsorship, but I knew that there would be more. So I actually ended up calling like radio stations and phoning TV broadcasts to go, listen, we on our way to the World Cup. You haven't said anything about it on your show. I've been watching your show. Do you want to do an interview with our captain? This is a number. And I kind of understood, like, the more we get out there, the more traction we'll have, the more we can ask then, listen, get on board female sport. And that's been literally the foundation of everything that I've done. The lifestyle side of things came when I did like Dancing with the Stars as a netball player.
Vanessa, you've done so much in there.
She's lived a full life.
That is crazy.
I did a dancing program in heels, girls, and I've never worn heels in my life before.
How tall were you in heels?
I know.
Was it kicking baby heels?
No,
The
the
big
proper
ones.
ones. I know, if there was a chandelier, I would have probably hit my head. But no, so I did that's where I integrated into lifestyle, and then started working for CakeNet as well as a lifestyle presenter, and then went from being a netball analyst to a sport broadcaster, all in the same sense. And I think it all integrates at the end of the day. I think all of you would be you're an actress, right? So you on soapies, or you'll be great at hosting a radio segment, or I think all of us have, if it's in you, it chooses you.
Yeah.
You think you choose it, but it actually chooses you.
True.
And it's glad that you bring Hope and Nqobile in here, because I left you guys for this one because you have very different kind of starting points to get you with your acting, with your drama and that sort of stuff. And I'm not even like...
I do everything.
Love that.
With your size 7 foot, when you have a size 4 foot modeling. Talk to us a little bit about that journey, because everyone goes, okay, cool, if you're an actor, you're naturally a presenter.
So for me, I started off in radio first. That's what I knew that I wanted to do. My mom was in radio, so I started doing kiddies shows at the age of 6, reading like kiddies news on like Ukhozi FM, Radio Sunny South. So that has been my journey. So I knew, right? My mom would be like, you're coming to work with me to come record some stuff. I'm like, what
She's
is
like
this?
child labor.
Right?
Gotta pay your rent, girl.
So that's, now that I look at it, no, but she looks at me now and she's always like, you have to thank me, because I knew you had it in you. Because even as a child, I was hosting kiddies parties. So you would call, my mom would take gigs for me, bookings. I actually have a picture of this.
That is amazing.
That is amazing.
Chris.
The first Chris. Jenna, actually,
my
mom. So she would put me out there and she'd be like, you're so energetic, people love you. So I'd dance at kiddies parties, I'd host mic, I did a bit of modeling, and then I started just auditioning for presenting. So that was my thing. I wanted to be a presenter at the age of 16, 17, 18. I think I only made it to like the MTV base at 21. And then I went into radio. So that was my journey. I was with Gagasi FM, I think, for 6 years. And I've been auditioning. I auditioned for SuperSport for 4 years.
What?
I kept knocking at their door and they were like, no, wah. So that has always been my journey. I've always been that person who wanted to get something and I knew that I was going to get it. At Gaga CFM, I think I always laugh at the fact that they'd always be like, you're not allowed to be here. Because I just rock up at the reception and I'd sit and I'm like, well, you're going to hire me at some point. So this is a total 360. And when people look at you like, oh, she just started this yesterday. I've been now doing this for almost like 14, 15 years. Wow. And I am young, but I started so early. And it's always been like second guessing myself because it's like, when am I going to make it? When am I going to be on television? I only got my first acting gig at 25 after auditioning since I was like 12.
Yeah.
So it didn't start that way, and sports has always been that thing for me that I just loved. Even when I was on radio, we'd always have sports banter. On Twitter, that's the only reason I was on Twitter, is when, you know, people were like,
it's so much fun, girl. Like,
it was amazing.
On Twitter, like it's absolutely amazing.
And then they changed it to X and it became toxic, so I left. So I'm now officially not
You're on
Twitter.
Threads.
No, I'm not. I'm not. And that's how it really just gravitated towards. People knew me to be that Kaizer Chiefs girly, even when I was young. I actually have this board that I put, because I used to love Nqobile Kwezi. So as a 12-year-old, I went to the stadium and I was like, Nqobile Kwezi, would you marry me? And they put it on SuperSport and I was like, oh, I made it. I was that girl with that with that cardboard. And
Have you met him since then?
I have met. I've interviewed him like 3 times afterwards.
And
Which is total 360. No, not my type. Definitely. He was an old man. He's an old man. I was a child. God. Anyway, Mbhele, please take over at this point.
No, don't throw it to me when you're saying spicy.
This is when we edit. This is where editing comes in.
For me personally, like Vanessa is like, I think it chooses you. I think that something that I've always loved is entertainment as a whole. So I've always thought I'd go into the media space. I started modeling when I was like 4. Like my parents put me in grooming classes, so pretty young as well.
But with a face like that, I mean, I've started 3.
Thank you so much. And then my first presenter audition was at 11, but I was too young to do the Yo TV presenter search. And I cried the whole day because they wouldn't let me audition. I was too young. But to finally be here is absolutely like amazing. I did pageants before this. I was brand ambassador of places before this. And for me, I've always wanted to go into the media space. I've always felt like it's something I love. I felt like if money wasn't a factor in life, it is a factor. So let's not even. But if money wasn't a factor, I'd do this for free. I love it so much. I have a genuine passion for speaking to people and connecting with people, and also to just give them like an escape from not necessarily reality. It's still an element of reality, but also just something to look forward to and entertain. So for me, transitioning into the space, it made so much sense. But at the same time, I was in fashion and beauty, and then when I got into SS, everybody in my world was like, what's going on? Like, what's happening here? And I was like, no, I think that God wanted me to go into the space, and I feel like it naturally selected me. And with that, like, I always have had like sports as part of my life. Whether it was like participating in sports in my family, you had to pick a sport that you did. My dad was a big sports fanatic, so we went to games. We were always in stadiums. We watched games. We speak to my dad about sports. So I was introduced to sports pretty young, but just to be engulfed in the world of it was something that was a little bit more transitional for me. It wasn't like a thing that just automatically happened. So yeah, and then we speak about the element of broadcast, which I think is humbling. People think our job is so cute. It's humbling. You think you can read. Let it be a teleprompter. You think you can talk, let there be a camera and a big red light and somebody carrying a jib. It's nothing cute.
Five voices in
your
head.
In your ear telling you it's the director, it's the producer. They're talking about different things that you've never heard of in your life. It is humbling, but also I think one of the most challenging and rewarding jobs, because you're as good as your last production, I think, to a certain degree. I mean, obviously growth is still a thing over time, but you're as good as your last production and you just kind of want to always do better. So it's been one of those jobs where I'm just like, I'm so grateful to do it. I really love being in the space. I also love that we're pretty badass as girls being in the space. Like,
I think also listening to all the stories, the one common theme that spreads across all our journeys is everyone goes, oh, they're lucky.
That's how I feel.
Oh, they're
Yeah,
lucky.
definitely.
I think they don't. There's a misconception about how much work that goes into actually getting here. The amount of time, the amount of preparation, the age that we started. I mean, also modeling, I started at 4. Like, it's a thing. I mean, my mom was like, your mom.
Yeah.
She's
You're
Indian.
doing this.
Put it to
I
us.
think all of our parents at some point.
Well, forcing us into
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
Yo.
Yeah, so I think there's a misconception about, especially in the broadcast space, how unbelievably difficult it is to get here and how long and the actual skill that goes into it. It's not just putting your, and I'm not taking anything away from content creators, putting your camera there and pressing the button on. There's so many elements that go into it. Like you said, there's a director in your ear, there's a producer in your ear, there's a caller in your ear. So you got 3 voices in your head whilst you're listening to the person that you're interviewing, whilst you're thinking about what they're saying and what you're going to ask them next. There's 4 cameras here at the moment. There's a team of 12 people that are just standing here for this podcast. There's so much work that goes into it. And I think there needs to be an understanding, yes, cool, be that content creator, but be that consistent content creator that's going to put in a lot of work to get to this platform.
Consistency is key.
It is key. And I want to throw this to you, Kriya. I think you need to also, as a person who's been in broadcast and understand how to prep, please tell them about research and tell them about the stats and facts you need to know. The stats and facts for each game, for each time you see us,
It's a lot of work.
the knowing your call sheets in terms of when you have to be there, but also prep to speak to the people you're going to speak to. Because the conversations flow like this, but the preparation.
100%. And it's for more than one sport. So we're sitting here and I can rattle off facts about Formula 1, cricket, golf, soccer, maybe not soccer that much.
Don't worry, I got you.
So you know what I've realized is that if you're passionate about something, it literally really does come to you. It makes everything so much easier because, you know, a lot of people just want to get into the space, but they don't really know how much it takes. It looks so glamorous, so glitzy outside, you know. Like, I think we make it look glamorous though, you know. And the only way I think people could stick around in this field is literally if you're actually passionate about it. I've recently started doing basketball, right? I knew nothing about basketball and also getting into broadcast in the broadcast space. Yes, being a presenter, build apps and all that type of environment, right? So what I realized was literally, first of all, it's nice to have great people that support you when you are working in a certain sport, right? And the more you learn, the research, you just literally need to love sport. Like, you have to be a sport person to be like, oh, looking forward to the next day. I want to do better. My research. I thought I'd never be able to do that, but with just doing research after every game and so forth, like, it's so exciting. It's so exciting to know what you're talking about on air, to ask the right questions. Like, it makes everything so much better. But I think you have to be really passionate about it.
You were going to say something.
I really want to interject here because I want to ask you ladies, actually, do you feel pressure? And we all feel pressure, right? But I did
That is my best friend. What do you
what do you mean?
And then I'm like, pressure, what?
I have comics in my car.
I do feel like as females in broadcast, because there's the stigma around like male voices in sport and then introducing female voices in sport. And it feels like added pressure because not only do you have to look the part and do your makeup in the car before you go.
I know. Sometimes.
And then also the research you do is because you don't not only want to let yourself down, but you don't want to let that young girl down. You don't want to let any other female who wants to get into broadcast. So it feels added pressure because it's not just about me. It's not about Vanessa Marie. If I stand in front of camera, I'm representing so much more than just myself.
Yes. Right? And just having a joint page is an interesting experience. Now I feel like because we've got our community that we've grown, you know, like there's people now that will be there, they'll protect, you know, like we don't have to necessarily, because we're no stranger to the fact that people want their opinions heard, whether or not it's at your expense, for example. So thanks for that. But having a joint page has been very interesting because of the way in which it's immediately, like a lot of the times people perceive it as just his page.
Oh, and you're an adult.
And you're an adult. But you've got the better team. It doesn't make sense.
You know what's the craziest thing though is I've never been never, let me not say that, sorry. Because my husband has been performing and stuff longer than I have, okay, so he's done the singing thing, all that kind of stuff, while I was trying to figure out, okay, wait, what I thought I wanted to do, I don't really want to do that anymore. And I was kind of just going along with his journey while I'm finding my own. And it was never a case of from intentionally being like a plus one, but I had experienced a lot of that already, oh, where's your wife? Or I have a whole name, I have a whole ID, I have a whole identity, but I'm like, okay, I take it where it comes from in that sort of space, right? Now, and that's why my husband is the most supportive person. He is my biggest cheerleader, so he's made it a very safe space to be in, and he likes to lead by example with that. And one thing with our page, for example, I've said, if someone is going to come onto our page and be sexist, this is my space.
Yes, 100%.
You've come into my space, so if you think, and I always do it in a way that I never just want to be mean or anything, but I also want to be
it's all the little battles that we're fighting, but at the end of the day, each of us needs to hold our own space where we are. So you on your page, in broadcast, in motorsport, I mean, it's so male dominant. So I think sport in general is perceived as being very dominant, and there's a lot of myths going around that, but I do think all of you ladies are doing a fantastic job holding your own space in sport and women in sport, in broadcast especially.
And with talking about women in sports, I also do think that as much as we're sitting here, there's women who've paid it forward.
Yes.
And Kriya, you one of them, because one of my first productions I ever worked on was the NGC, and having somebody who's going to tell you that, you can do this, and give you and just be positive and friendly and of information. The girls in SuperSport really hold us down. The Mots of the world, and I feel they really share the information, and they let us know listen, you can know this. And I think that it's really cool to also acknowledge them, because they came in first, and I think we do have it tough. They had it probably even tougher. And the girls in front of us, or who are going to come after us, are probably going to have it a little less tougher, but it's still that just coming in when somebody comes in and sharing that information. And I think even with amongst ourselves, we very much we step into spaces and we share information with each other, which is so empowering, and it's so nice and refreshing, because I didn't know a lot about netball. I worked with Vanessa, I learned so much about netball. It was refreshing because I always felt like hockey and netball were not worlds, but I was a hockey girl in school.
Nqobile, have you tried to go with Vanessa to a rugby game?
She's popular. A well-known girl.
Can I just say?
Rugby. Forget
My superstar girl. I'm taking photos for her. BTS. I'm like, you want me to take a photo of you and her?
So I think it's also a very pivotal part in this conversation is the challenges that we as females in broadcasting and sport have, and content creation worlds. Because I think the challenges that my generation, guys, I make myself feel so old.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. You don't look it, please.
Do not look it.
My generation faced is a little bit different to the ones that you did. We don't have and forgive me for using this term, we don't have the woke generation that gets behind us. We don't have the armies of feminists. We had literally one male most of the time, Kippy, that sat there and was like, oh, well, if 7 guys don't like you and 7 guys think that you're not good enough, then let's just axe you from the show.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not that I almost envy it, but I'm now that with social media, I feel like it was better, for example, when I started radio and social media wasn't a big thing. I think I had 600 followers. I didn't see it. No, whatever people were talking, they were talking in their rooms at home. I didn't get to see it. Now they tag you. Now
in your comments.
They come into your space and they tell you how horrible they think of you or what, and you see it. You have to log on and post something for work. Now it's in your face.
In your DMs.
I struggle a lot with that.
I think it has its positives and the negatives. And yes, the negatives are insane, because now instead of just having 10 voices, you have 1 million voices that, and it's a thing, as a human nature, people talk about the negative more than they talk about the positive. It's just a thing. So they are going to attack you a little bit more. But at the same time, you have the army of positives that come with it. So even though you have one guy that's tagged you and told you how terrible you look and how crappy you are at reporting, you have your community that also gets behind you. But in saying that, it doesn't take away from the fact that it's a challenge, because every single day you feel like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough.
That imposter syndrome.
Maybe I don't have enough knowledge. Maybe I should wear a skirt because then people will look at my legs rather than think about what I'm saying. It's really a problem, and it combines and compounds into all the challenges that we had to go through. And I maybe want to start on this side. If you could pinpoint what is some of the big, for me, a big challenge is was management growing up, because we didn't have the social media armies or the community armies behind us. So all we had to deal with was management, where now it's a little bit easier for you guys in that department.
I had to find a way to protect my peace and my space, because there were two options. It's either you're going to use your words to push me out of doing what I love, but then who's the real loser? Me. I'm not doing anything. So, and this was difficult in the beginning because I had a lot of self-confidence issues, still ongoing, but we're getting there, you know, kind of thing. And it's like, it was funny because if I would do a post where I had a particular opinion about something, suddenly, like, you can disagree with an opinion, obviously, naturally, especially with sports, you're going to disagree with an opinion, but then suddenly it wasn't you disagreeing with my opinion, it was, you're a woman, so you don't know.
You're attacking me.
And then I'm just like, no, if my husband had said the exact same thing, you would just disagree with him. But the woman with the teacup, if I have to see that one more time, like the get back in the kitchen, and also it becomes personal to you. Yeah. So suddenly it wasn't like this girl, or this girl knows nothing. It's this fat girl knows nothing. Sure. This ugly girl knows nothing. This, like, why don't you get back in the gym? And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, is this a workout video? Or am I talking about my, like, I'm not trying to be a fitness influencer. So you're coming into my space, you're disrupting my peace now, and that just doesn't fly anymore with me. Like, I had to kind of get to a point where, like, my skin is, not that I don't cry, because I will, like, it's like some days you have those, like, some days you have those where it's like one after the other, and sometimes it's a case of when you open your eyes to it, that's all you see. But it became I actually can't always do that, because if I do that, I'm not going to want to carry on like this, because it does get tough. Like, you don't know anything about me behind the scenes. So for you to come now, it's like, oh, suddenly the fat girl's trying to talk. Now she's trying to talk about football. What does she know? And it's just like, even if I don't know everything, because I don't, even if I don't know, what is this weird checklist you guys have of what constitutes as someone who can be a fan of a particular sport? That for me is the weirdest thing. Like, people are like, oh, you started supporting City when? Oh, where was the expiry date? Where?
Please,
to sign up, please. I need to know what that date was, because anyone born after that can never be involved.
Oh my goodness, like Drive to Survive generation.
Oh my gosh.
Let's just.
I hope you have a lot to say about this.
Social media, guys, I struggle. If it were up to me, I would not be on social media. I would not have Instagram. I would not. But I make money off it, so I gotta stay there. Yeah. And that came so I had to transition myself from being a broadcaster into making myself visible, because the station I was at would say, yo, you need to post more about the show. You need to do this. You need to do that. And I was horrible at it. I am still working on it. I still,
I mean, you're doing a great job.
But it's something that I had to, get into, and now all of the opinions are there. You only got there because of your looks, but you don't know me like that. Yeah. You don't know the degrees I have. You don't know the amount of time I spent doing research. You don't know the work that I've put in this, the years. And it's that invalidation that comes with social media that I struggle with, because it's the entitlement. And now, because I am known as the sweet girl, when I say something, it's like, hope.
And how dare you defend yourself? Then suddenly that's another thing. It's someone says something, and if you retaliate with the same energy, then you're the bad one.
Yes.
It comes with being a public figure.
Yeah. So that's now the balance that you have to find with, you still have to go out there and put your head up high and still create content and still also appreciate. And also, I'm not overlooking the good that comes with social media, the people that back you, the people that come and tell you're beautiful, that celebrate you. So I love that community. But I have over 4,000 or 5,000 blocked people on my Instagram right now. And I will block. Good. Because I have to find I have to protect my peace at some point. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to pour out my cup if it's not full.
Vanessa, I know we're obviously talking digital space and you guys are content creators, but for someone who started in a different avenue and has a different broadcast experience, what are some of the challenges you faced?
I think it's like finding your niche, like you said earlier. So I just feel like I need to get it off my chest that each and every one of you you're enough.
You're gonna make me cry.
No,
I was like,
it's more than enough. Because we tend to look at other people and equate ourselves, and we're very hard on ourselves sometimes. And especially in this broadcast, we don't know what to do. I don't know if you know that I've never had any.
Are you coming? Are you going? Am I here? I'm at the top.
I've never been taught how to broadcast. It was things like
interesting.
right. So you would say, Vanessa, just look, little. Yeah. It's the girls that have come before us that have molded us, and hopefully we can do the same for the next generation. But one of the biggest struggles is having so many different things that I'm doing is to be strong in what I do when I do it. So being present in that moment. So when I'm doing rugby, I'm rugby, right? If I'm doing a cake net lifestyle shoot for people who want to find love, I'll do that to the best of my ability. And I've done that. And I've done a weight loss program. And I've done so many different, when I'm in this podcast, I'm present here. And it's really difficult sometimes because you have to back yourself. You have to believe in yourself, and you can't be equating yourself to other women. Because that's what we do, right? I look at Kriya and I'm like, I'll never be as good as her, No, it's a weird, it's a weird subject. But I think that's some of the struggles, is just to own that space where you're in, because you don't want to not just disappoint yourself. You don't want to disappoint the people you work with, but also, like I said, the people watching you. And then obviously, I think because I came from an athletic background, I'm very used to criticism. So I really know that it's got nothing to do with me. What you think of me has got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
So your opinion is probably based on something insecure in your own life.
You can't make everyone happy at the end of the day.
Exactly. I'm not Brandy and Coke, right? I cannot make everybody happy.
And coffee for you.
Yeah, so I think I understand the criticism part of things, and it's something I take very, very light, and I just constructively take it and just grow from there. And can I tell you all a little bit of an advice that someone really very famous told me one day, and said, the day that your haters start speaking up and actually feel that they have the need to now publicly say they dislike you, you've made it.
100%. You start doing it, yeah.
And that's it.
I think that's a perfect way to segment into something different, because, like I said, it's human nature. We always talk about the negative. We don't often talk about the positives. I want to start with you, Nqobile. Talk to me about the positives that have come, not only from your content creation background, but now that you're going into broadcasting, besides the fact that you literally have more air miles than anybody sitting here. And the money is great and the lifestyle is great, but from a development of the industry perspective, what are some of the positives?
I think I can speak for all the girls here. The credibility that working in sports gives you as a creator is on another level. It takes it to another stratosphere. So sports is not something that is just like, as much as we have opinions, and a lot of the shows we have also are reliant on banter, but it means you need to know your stuff, which means in certain spaces that you might have not always been invited to if you were just off the back doing lifestyle content creation, you're now invited into panel talks. You're invited to lead discussions and be a person who's going to help narrate certain stories for really credible companies, which I think is really great. And in terms of that kind of exposure, it's great for other brands to see you as somebody they can rely on and they always can use in terms of that relatability factor. I love the fact that sports is the one thing that AI is not going to replace. We want to see people on the field. We want to see people on the courts. We want to see people on the track. So with that being said, I think that the longevity of it is really great. And I think that our ability to kind of also take it to another stratosphere. There is already a Kriya, there's already a Vanessa, there's already a Zenande. Who's going to come in next and do what with it? It's up to you. You can do whatever you want with it, which I think is really great. Also, I think initially when we come in, Vanessa, you said we compare ourselves and we want to be like a certain person. But then you take a little bit of Kriya, then you take a little bit of Matsu, you take a little bit of Tato, you take a little bit of Hope, and you put it into yourself of what you like about that person, and you can really mold yourself into anything you want to be and see what you can pick up and take with that. And then the brand opportunities. Everyone wants to plug into sports. Sports is forever. If you didn't know, I'm going to tell you right now. Sports is forever. We are going to be here for a long time. If you don't like us, get used to us. It is what it is. Yes. If you don't like us, get used to us. And you'll definitely always be here on your World of Champions. So it is what it is. And with that being said, I have to say, there's so much opportunity. I speak for the women here, but there's also women behind the scenes who are doing a great job of making us look good. 100%. And I think also their stories are going to be told as we go into it. We just saw now an article with our bosses, Hinjin, Kani, Amria. The girls are doing what needs to be done. So I just think that it's just opening so much opportunity, longevity in career, brand deals. And I also think that there's just so much opportunity to also expand it and make the story our own story. And the beauty about sports, as much as we might feel some type of way that people always have their own opinions, is that it is everyone's own opinion, because we can sit and watch the exact same sports.
That's what it is.
It's your POV. Tell us your POV, what you picked up from it. I might watch a race, you might watch a race in terms of watching motorsports. Who you liked, what the nuances that you picked up, the nuances that I picked up. When we narrated, we can cross and like share information, and that's what it's supposed to be, I think, more than it is being like fighting. I mean, unless we are bantering, then I'm up for the challenge.
But never take it personal.
No, it's never personal. When it's the right banter, when you're not gonna come for my looks and my skin and my gender or whatever. Let's keep it at the sports. Let's talk about how crap your team is.
Your team.
Your team.
All right, ladies. Keep it till later. Zenande, I want to talk to you about how do you think this conversation and, you know, us being in this space is going to help future generations get into this industry?
I think it's such an amazing concept, just like literally the Here for Her campaign, you know, because representation is so important in this industry. Like for me, when I first came into sports, right, I've always loved it since I was growing up, and I've never really thought I'd be in this space, especially because I come from such a small village in the Eastern Cape. Like when I go back now and kids see me on SuperSport representing, I feel like it kind of gives them hope that they can still do it. It's possible. Like I never saw anyone from my town doing it. So now that I'm here, and also when I got here, I found girls who are already in the industry who kind of looked like me, who were relatable like me now that I'm in Joburg. Like, for example, Lindy, where she brought me in, I literally DM'd her one day. She's so amazing. I DM'd her one day and I was like, listen, I'd love to just come see how you work, shadow you. And it's so beautiful to know that she opened that DM and she was like, actually, you can come and see what I do. And that's how we built a relationship, right? And I think it's important for us to pave that way for the younger generation as well. It's important that if they reach out, we're able to like just kind of give direction. It really does go a long way. It did that for me as well. So I think this conversations like this are absolutely very, very vital.
I think it's something that I've also experienced through my many years in broadcasting. No, something that I experienced is that because we were so few women when we were coming up, there was literally a handful, I would say not more than 5. It was so competitive. Like it was hard. And there was often that feeling that you didn't get that camaraderie. The way that I've experienced it with you girls. Like, I mean, you guys take photos, you take behind the scenes stuff, you guys. And then also that's taught me a lot about it, because previously where there were 5 of us and there was only one TV show. Now there's so many of them. So there were 5 of us, we were all trying to be that girl on that show, and there was only one spot. And it was extremely competitive. And I think that's also like a good thing about the industry is that it's opening up. Where now there's 20 shows and there's 5 presenters. So there's always the opportunity to back each other and grow with each other.
You know what I always say? I always say that there's space for everyone, especially now with social media, there's always going to be space for each and every person. Like, you know,
you can't hog stuff. You can't try to close the door for people, because social media is opening up now. People, when I think of how the person who hired me on SuperSport or the team that hired me on SuperSport, they saw me from my YouTube.
Us from Instagram and TikTok. Same.
Social media is so great nowadays for like getting yourself wherever you want to be.
Yeah.
That's the incredible part about it.
This is going to sound terrible, don't fire me. You don't need the SuperSport name behind you. You can create the platform yourself, and then SuperSport will
Make
come to
them
you.
notice you.
I
That's
always
always
say
the
that.
advice.
I'm like
Yes.
created, and that's what I keep going back to, the fact that you have your own POV of what sports looks like to you. We want to know your POV, because my POV, and this is why I love like indulging in like sports content, even on social media. When you scroll, it's like Vanessa's going to tell me a different story, Zenande's going to tell me a different story, Hope is going to tell me a different one, Ashley's going to tell me, you're going to tell me a different one.
They hate me, they
we
bite.
now,
Yeah.
if you talk about the competition within the space, we now, when we like go into certain spaces, rely on each other. Like, oh, Kriya's there, thank God. Like, oh, did you see that? Like, I could ask questions. I'd be like, did you see that? What did you think about that? Because I thought this about that, and then we can share that information, and then we can even have that conversation on like line or like live and broadcast it, and it becomes something that also sparks a different type of like conversation, which is really great.
All right, so I asked you girls before the podcast or before filming this, I want to know one thing that nobody knows about you. One thing that in the industry, no one, that they're like, oh my goodness, shock and awe. So Vanessa, I'm going to start with you.
So I can't, well, it's not industry related, but I can't grow hair under my left armpit.
Oh no, Vanessa.
What happened? Now I'm invested. What happened?
I've got the inability. I don't know. I got the gene, no hair under my left armpit. I'm saving razors. On only doing the one side, right? Anyway, okay, moving on. Industry-wise, so I studied a BCom degree, and I was actually super, super shy and failed public speaking at school.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So never really thought that I would go into this. So in my mind, I had one idea.
challenged yourself.
And the other side, I think God had a different plan for me. Like I said, I think it chose me more than I chose it.
It also means you put yourself out of your comfort zone, and I think that's very important. If you're a youngster watching this, or someone that wants to get in the industry, this is not a comfortable place to be. You have to put yourself
Do it
out
scared.
of your comfort zone.
Constantly, and in that space is that's where we grow, right? I was also the first South African to have gone and played in Australia, professional netball. Yeah, and I think that's the shock and awe. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
you're
think the
awkward.
armpit's that's the nice
That's a bigger shocker.
Yeah.
Mbhele?
Don't think about my armpit right now.
People don't know this, but I'm actually shy.
What?
Introvert.
I'm actually shy. I'm shy. I do this as like a challenge for myself. Every day I come to work, I'm actually really shy, and I have a passion for strategy and brand building that it transcends, and I have a degree in it. So people know that I went to Vega, but they don't know what I might have studied, and I studied strategic brand communications. I love to see something through, and I also love brand alignment. So even just like when I work with brands within the sports community, I always like to see the alignment with it. But for me personally is that I'm actually shy.
No.
Wow.
I'm
Shocked.
Very shocking, right?
Okay, so for me, I think I'm really an open book. I don't think there's much that people don't know about me. Something that's happened. I've studied sports management. Okay, guys, I'm able to do this. I don't know if you guys are able to do that.
I think I might be able to. I'm double jointed. Do you want to see something straight?
I can put my thumb to my gewrigt.
Okay, enough body parts.
SuperSport talent search.
That's why we are into sports.
No, but I think I really am an open book. Yeah, like I said, I really thought I'd be an athlete because I was very athletic growing up. I played every single at my school. Actually, I played cricket. I played netball. We didn't have a lot, and a bit of rugby.
Nice.
So yeah, I think that's just it about me. I'm really an open book. If you go down my Instagram, you'll see everything.
Yeah, I also think there's nothing that really shocks people. I think something that shocks people when they find out is that I own taxis. I grew up in a taxi background. Yeah, I learned how to drive with taxis. I was a staff, but I don't know what it's called, conductor of a taxi. So my granny was probably one of the first black females to drive a taxi. They opened the taxi association in our home. So that is my background. People know me from...
That is chalk and all.
So
mind
it's like,
blown.
are you a taxi boss? I'm like, yeah, you don't want to mess with me.
I'm calling her.
If you meet me, I got Nkabis. I'm joking.
Next topic, next content piece, we are going for a ride in Hope's taxi.
Please, we need to.
Yeah, I also did a lot of sports in school. I was very good in running. I thought I would do running.
I also got honorary colors in
Is it?
running and high
Same.
jump. I was a high jumper.
I was a high jump girl too.
Oh, girl.
Why did my parents not apply pressure?
I need to
understand.
Olympics right now.
All right, Ash, you're in.
Oh, I feel, because I didn't really grow up with sport like you guys did. Like, obviously my parents would watch the World Cups or like rugby and stuff like that, but mine was more from a drama background. But in grade 7, we had to do a speech on our favorite sports hero. And now, like I just said, I didn't really grow up with sports. I'm like, what do you mean? Okay. And I was incredibly shy. There was a little bit of bullying and stuff, so probably that was, where it came from. But when it was time to do the speech, my teacher's like, yeah, it's time. And I'm like, I got 0. I failed it because I couldn't go up and speak in front of people.
What?
I refused. And then I had to tell my parents that I got 0 just because I didn't do it. But that's how much fear I had. And then when I went to high school, I went to an all-girls school, and that was probably a little bit better for my
We
confidence.
went to the same high school, just many years ago.
That was a fun fact, actually. So then I got into acting and stuff like that. And again, I think I used acting because I wasn't 100% happy with myself. It was easier to be other people. And now that I'm like, okay, cool. Like I'm settled with who I am. I like the space I'm in. I love the space I'm in, actually. And I'm very, you're not going to stop me now. Now you can't get me to stop talking, for example, But it was such a big journey and such a jump for people as well. Especially into the sports thing. Also, people, like my cousin, he loved Liverpool growing up, and now, I work in the space, and I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do. I love it now.
Consistency and determination.
Yes, exactly. I think that's it, and that's really the fact that I went from that to where I am now. I do everything scared. Everything scared. Even the shoot. I was like, I'm scared,
Otherwise,
but the
you're not
shoot's
gonna
gonna
do
happen,
it. Yes.
and you have to be there
Every single time.
Every single time.
I got
So-
anxiety pulls in my car.
so it's all about perspective, at the end of the day. And I think being able to shift that in my mind has helped me be able to make this a career, I suppose.
And we love you.
Yes, we love
It's like therapy, right?
you. You
Like,
have
our
taught
job
me
is
so much about football from watching you and Megs. It's been really educational.
Thank you. That's what it's about.
Come go. You have to tell us.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've discussed this because I gave you guys some examples, but I have 2 degrees, one in information science, one in multimedia. Out of high school, I became an ethical hacker.
Very interesting.
Being ethical about
Okay, 2 words you never thought you'd hear together.
I worked for PwC and Deloitte because my dad was like, you have 2 degrees, I paid for it. You're working on TV 3 days a month. Get out of my house and go work. So I signed up. I was with Deloitte and PwC for a couple of years. I hacked pretty much every single big bank that you have in South Africa. It was really cool. And then I'm a business owner. So I own a digital marketing agency.
And you make the most beautiful nails.
I own a nail salon. I own events company. And within the next month, I'm going to own a florist as well.
Love that. So we're getting flowers.
And I'm single.
How? Where?
The show today. Camera, I've got so many questions.
What? Yeah, that's the shocker.
Not the ethical hacker. You see.
Did you see that? But I do want 3 flowers. I want 3 flowers. I need my nails done, and I definitely need
I want the
hacking.
tea. I need the tea.
Then I need the tea after.
All right, but girls,
How quiet that we all just gave you to say that.
Because that's not what we know.
anyway, let's go back to the case at hand. Ladies, I wanted to say thank you for opening up, for sharing your stories with us today. I think showing vulnerability and giving an insight into the stresses that we go through. I wanted to share a quick story with you guys before we end. It's been Women's Month. We've just celebrated August. I had to do a talk for preschool kids' moms. And my friend asked me, talk about looking good, feeling good, how it impacts your family. And I couldn't write it. Because at times when you're not feeling 100%, you can't ask other people to be 100%. So what I wanted to tell you is, show your vulnerabilities, show where you come up from. You're just going to help other people grow and develop. And thank you for talking to us about it on the show today. It's been really great. And now we're going to go put some fancy clothing on and shoot some fancy photos.
Thank you to SuperSport for this platform as well.
Yeah.
Here for Her is a movement that a lot of people I think are going to grow from and learn from, and other brands and other channels and other companies as well. And see, you know what, this is what they're doing for other kids. So it's beautiful.
Stop being so mean to our presenters.
Please stop it. And last shout out to the ladies who made this happen.
Yes.
We're here for you too. Here for her. To the ladies behind the scenes, thank you so much. The Amandas, the Kiles who always put this stuff together. I think it's really incredible to also work with incredible women behind the scenes who are also
Incredible
like pushing
minds.
us. Yes, incredible minds. These girls are geniuses. They make us look really good. They come up with the plans, the briefs. They make sure that we always on our A game. So
We're
it's
just
really
an
great to work with you
extension.
guys. Yes, we're an extension
of each other.
So thank you.
Be nice to our presenters. I know a lot of us are going through a tough time when it comes to bringing you the best sport on your World of Champions, and we want to be able to do that. We want to give you the best broadcasts physically possible, and we have the credentials to back it up as well. So thank you for watching, and we will see you guys on the next one.
Well done.